Hey there! So today we have another review. This is a beer courtesy of Sierra Nevada. Thank you so much for sending this one out. This is Sierra Nevada's Premium PILS, 4.7%. So right in that beautiful range between, Bud Light, Bud Heavy. Yeah, their take on PILS. Packaged about 3 months ago. And Brewbound actually voted this as the best new product, which is a beer publication. I've actually had this once on side pull, on draft. So I'm very curious to see how it turns out. I guess I'll review it and give you sort of like my impressions and all that stuff. So, beer comes in a really nice kind of like light straw color, nice clarity to that. Looks like a Pilsner. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. I couldn't actually find out that much information about the beer. But yeah, light, kind of grainy German Pilsner kind of character, Pilsner malt character, a little bit lightly doughy. It's got a little bit of like floral, definitely some floral element to it, definitely some green grassiness, but also a little bit of citrus. I'm also getting this a little bit of like, what is it? Like a little bit of like lemon peel. Yeah. A little bit of extra oomph on there. And actually, I tried to go on the website to find out like more information about the beer. Couldn't really find out like obviously like this is Sierra Nevada's take on European style. It's not going to be exactly German, but it's a hair fruity, hair lemony and citrusy for like a traditional Pilsner. But that is what it is. So nice. Up front, a little bit of like light malts, light doughy sweetness to it. It definitely does have a little bit of this kind of like wafery, thin, grainy sweetness. The best analogy I can give you right now is sort of like think about like one of those like I used to eat them when I was out here. There's a Quaker oat wafer things, like the discs, the dry discs, crunchy, but with a little bit of like if you can imagine it flavored with just a hair of sugar, and honestly maybe a little bit of apple, but obviously no cinnamon, because yeah, they definitely make it flavored, right? So like it like a light appley lemony kind of like wafer thing. Oat cracker, what do they call those things? I don't know what those discs are. In the mid palate, a nice kind of like earthy bitterness comes in, noble hop character, moves on to a little bit soily action, and then it just still zings a little bit American, just a little bit of just what I was smelling, that kind of like lemon peel, that zest, zippy zestiness. That's a little bit too fruity to be traditionally European. It's fine though, like. The other thing I want to say about this beer, it's got a oomph to it. It's got a nice sweetness. This is not a crispy boy. It is a Pilsner. And everybody associates, Pilsners. Everything's crispy. No, this is not that light. This beer actually has a little bit of fat and sweetness to it. That's honestly what I thought about in my initial impression about having this beer while I was on side pull. So side pull obviously is a little bit different. If you guys don't know, it's Lucre faucet, and it's sort of like... In the way that the faucet dispenses the beer, it mimics. I mean, the best analogy, if you've had a side pull, then you know what it is. But if you haven't, the best analogy I can give you is sort of like a nitrogenated kind of experience. It's obviously still CO2. It breaks the CO2 out in a different fashion on that screen that's in within the dispense of the faucet, and it sort of creates that creaminess that you associate with nitro. With that beer on draft, I found the beer very sweet, but not even like actual, like this beer probably doesn't have that much residual sweetness to it, but like it just had the impression of a sort of like my best analogy was like a hazy lager. I was like, man, this is like a hazy lager. Which here it's obviously a lot less exaggerated because like I have it just pouring it out of the can. I don't have that creaminess I was getting off the side bowl, but it's nice. I like it. It's great. I think part of it is that, again, not every Pilsner needs to be built the same. Not everything has to be dry and bone dry and bitter. There's a nice medium bitterness to this beer, but it really is not that bitter of a Pilsner. It has a nice kind of almost like crunchy, like little bit of sugary sweetness up front, which is quite nice. The other thing I love about this beer is the package. I mean, this thing is 4.7%, 8 ounces. What is that math wise? Like that's like having I mean, you're basically having like you're basically having like half a beer. Well, especially if you're drinking like a pale ale or IPA, right? Like sometimes you don't need a 12 ounce of even a light beer, like a 4.75% beer. You maybe don't need 12 ounces of it. Maybe just a perfect amount. That's 8 ounces right there. And then sometimes maybe if you're drinking like, you don't want two 12-ounce cans, right? Maybe you want two 8-ounce cans. And right, like it's just having that kind of format in your fridge. I feel like I've leveled up where, you just like some nights you're just like, all right, I could use one of these guys. And that's literally the other night, that was my last beer of the night. I was like, perfect. That's all I need. I don't really need crack another full can of beer, right? So it's nice to have diversity, and then the package is great, and you break it up 8 ways. So instead of 6-pack, you get 8-ounce cans. Quite nice. I like it. I like the diversity of, like, again, this tastes different than a lot of pilsners that I would expect to buy off the market. It just has a little bit of American zing to it, and a little bit just of this crunchy sweetness, a little bit oomph that makes it a little bit different. Not every pilsner has to be the same, and it would be boring if the world only had pilsner that taste like X, Y, Z, right? Good. And honestly, as I drink more, I feel like I'm tasting more Sierra Nevada-ish character to it. Like there's almost this like green, and no, it's just a green chlorophyll kind of thing that like does sort of taste like noble hops. But I couldn't say on the website what hops it was. So anyway, the beer's absolutely fantastic. It's very good. Let's go to 93. That 93 Sierra Nevada Pils, just good beer. And honestly, I would give the packaging like, actually don't know what the pricing on it is. But anyway, I think it's actually similarly priced to what a 6-pack of 16-ounce cans is. And you get 8, 4. Yeah, you're getting pretty much the same. You're almost getting the same amount as you'd get in a 6-pack, but just in a different package. And 93. Cheers. Thank you, Sierra Nevada, for sending it out. Later.